News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Commemorating Veterans Day today. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Tuesday, November the 11th. Yes, it is Veterans Day today. So thank you to all of you who have served and continue to serve and who maybe are serving our country. We appreciate your service deeply. Our newscast this morning is sponsored by Dr. Troy Doxey, the friendly team at Chiropractic Works, where they're dedicated to chiropractic solutions to target your unique needs. Give them a call at 728-0222. This morning's top story, Montana Lieutenant Governor Angela McLean visited the University of Montana campus yesterday to get a first-hand view of the services offered to student veterans. McLean says she and Governor Bullock are visiting Montana campuses to confirm that veterans are receiving the services they need to succeed as students.
I just visited the Veteran Success Center at the library, and I was very impressed by the fact that there was such quick turnaround to provide a study space for veterans where they specifically can go and gather, they can relax, they can study, they can engage with others.
McLean said the veterans services are being well utilized by those for whom they were designed.
We look to have lunch with our veterans and visit with them more and find out just exactly how Governor Bullock and I can protect the programs that exist here in Montana and make sure that we protect those programs for those who have protected and served us so valiantly and so wonderfully in service to our great nation.
The student veterans have access to a full-sized kitchen to make quick meals and a lounge area. They can watch TV and relax while waiting for class. They also provide a computer lab with free printing and a quiet study lounge. Now, in honor of Veterans Day, there are two breakfasts going on this morning. One at the American Legion Hall at 845 Ronan Street starts at 7, and one at the VFW Hall at 245 West Main. Both those start at 7. They are open to everyone on a donation basis. Inclement weather will not stop Missoula from honoring those who've served during today's Veterans Day ceremonies, but there'll be a slight change of venue because of the weather. Here's American Legion Post 101 Adjutant Dan Gallagher.
At the Doughboy statue at the courthouse grounds in downtown Missoula. We will again be having it there. We'll have the flag-raising ceremony on the flagpole outside by the Doughboy statue. That first part, the flag-raising itself, will take place outside. But then the rest of the ceremony, which lasts about an hour or so, will move into the courthouse.
Governor Steve Bullock will be speaking along with Mayor John Engen and County Commissioner Gene Curtis. The ceremony will feature one particular theme.
This is the 100th anniversary of the start of World War I, the 50th anniversary of the start of Vietnam. And the theme we've chosen correlates to that. The theme is every war has its beginning, but does it ever really end? Obviously acknowledging the beginnings of those wars, but at the same time the fact that for the people who fight the wars, the war doesn't really stop.
The time and date of the Veterans Day ceremony is easy to remember. It's the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, as it has since Armistice Day back in 1918. And staying with that theme, Missoula School District 1 will be commemorating Veterans Day with a special moment of silence with all schools participating. Superintendent Alex Apostle says the event will take place at the start of the day.
One of the things we're doing together in all schools is recognizing a moment of silence for our veterans and for those people that are involved in the armed services.
Apostle says there will be a special emphasis honoring veterans throughout the school day. The moment of silence will take place in each classroom at the beginning of the day. In addition, there'll be a small ceremony at the flagpole at C.S. Porter School at 8:35 this morning. Democrat Governor Steve Bullock is vowing to work with the State House and Senate during the upcoming 2015 legislative session after last week's elections saw Republicans retain control of both houses. Republicans held a 29-21 majority in the Senate and a 61-39 majority in the House going into the November 4th elections. They've held on to the same number of seats in the Senate, with Democrats gaining 2 in the House. Bullock says his priorities include expanding Medicaid to about 70,000 of the working poor in the state. He also says he's ready to go a long way to work with legislators if they really want to get things done. Nearly a week after the general election, 2 razor-thin races were decided by a count of provisional ballots at the Fairgrounds Election Center. In the race for State Senate District 49, Democrat Diane Sands led by just 7 votes over Republican Dick Haynes, while Democrat Kimberly Dudick led Independent Gary Marbut by less than 30 votes. Election Administrator Rebecca Connors made the announcement just after 5 yesterday.
For Senate District 49, I have Diane Sands at 3,933. This is the overall now. This is our election night results plus provisional. Dick Haynes at 3,902.
Moments later, Connors relayed the results from the Dudick-Marbot race.
For House District 94, I have Kim Dudick at 1,748 and Gary Marbot at 1,700.
Those margins of victory put both races out of the possibility for a recount. Both Sands and Dudick embraced in celebration. Sands then praised Haynes as a dedicated public servant with a long history of service to Missoula. A 62-year-old western Montana man was struck and killed by a falling tree while fishing in the Bitterroot River, we reported yesterday. Ravalli County Sheriff Chris Hoffman says high winds moved through the southern Bitterroot Valley early Sunday afternoon. Officers received reports of trees down across U.S. Highway 93 south of Connor. Members of the Missoula Fire Department were working to clear the trees when they heard dogs barking down by the river. Hoffman says when they investigated, they found Michael Kenneth Bell of Connor pinned under a tree that had been knocked over by the wind. Bell died at the scene. The abrupt blast of winter that hit Montana over the weekend will stick around for several days in the form of lower than average temperatures and bitter cold wind chill readings. The National Weather Service issued a wind chill warning for a swath of western Montana, the West Glacier south through Kalispell, Polson, Missoula, and Hamilton, including Anaconda and Butte. Deer hunters with general season tags are outperforming the harvests for last year in the 4-year average. FWP spokeswoman Vivica Krauser has more.
Deer harvest has stayed steady across western Montana. It's really pretty good in some spots, and our whitetail harvest numbers are up from where they have been in the past handful of years. For elk, it's still been really slow, but with the weather change that we've seen over the past day, that may change here this week.
And lots of whitetails coming through the Darby and Bonner check stations. Krauser expects to see even better results next week because of the snow.
The snow does a couple of things. One, it gets the elk in particular moving from the higher elevations down to closer to the valley bottoms and to those winter range areas. And so those are the spots where hunters are more likely to cross paths with an elk. And then the snow also provides good conditions for tracking, whether it be deer or elk.
The elk harvest this year has been much lower than normal, so hunters can use all the help they can get. Newstalk Times 610.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Mostly sunny, breezy, and cold today. High temperatures will top out in the teens, but it will feel well below zero at times. Mostly clear tonight with our lows dropping below zero. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13, your first alert station.